Coming to you live from the junk drawer. This is Optimal Play. I am Brandon, and I am enjoying a nice evening of solo gaming with whiskey and nobody. It's lovely, especially because Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs came out. And I'm about to play Scenario 2 after having played the tutorial on live stream on the channel and then Scenario 1 in a previous video. So feel free to check those out. Or I don't get the impression that this is a super heavy, twisty story that you need to worry too much about spoilers. So if you also want to just join me to see Scenario 2 as I'm playing through with the Mind Thief, please do. I am going to jump straight in because I really have... Maybe a week or so has gone by since the last video was posted, but I have not left this chair. So I am still in the Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs mindset and ready to get going. If you would, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's the only way to help us grow, so we appreciate when you do. And let's just turn the page on this little deck here that almost reads like a book and check out Scenario 2. Crossing the road. You can get into a window in the Crooked Bone by ziplining across from the Grumbling Garelev, the collector says. They point to another derelict tavern in front of you, otherwise known as Button's Kingdom. The collector hesitates, gesturing to a small crowd of bandits on the cobblestone street blocking your path. Alright, more bandits, a small crowd of them this time on the cobblestone street. Now this just says, monsters, bandit guard, bandit archer, goal, defeat all monsters. So we are going straight in with nothing more than that. Story-wise, there is no, there's no shopping, there's no stickers, there's no really anything but a pretty linear, quick little light story. So, excuse me. Gotta love that, I guess. We're gonna have two types of enemies this time. The bandit guards, which we saw last time, they move around in melee attack. And bandit archers. So we have a whole different card here. I can see here that they sometimes move and they always ranged attack. And that scenario story I was just reading, we are going to flip it over. Play on this card. So I can see that I enter here, placing the Mind Thief mini here. These cards are a little, they don't lie flat very well. Like, they're not... I get that they're trying to make the box as small as possible, so thin cards probably shaved a couple millimeters off of it. But they're a little flimsy and a little frustrating when you want them to lay flat so that you can play the game on top of them. But it's a relatively small gripe. The art and everything is very nice, but the card quality I wish was one notch up. Alright, Mind Thief there. We have a green cube for it looks like one bandit guard. And they start at 8 hit points. So we're going to set this green dial. If you can't tell, that's green, that's blue, that's purple. I guess that's why one other gripe with the production value is these dials all look like the same color until you squint at them for a long time. But we have an 8 hit point green bandit guard, a bandit archer with 7 hit points, starting behind that rock. And let me get the purple cube for the bandit archer behind this apple, and that's also going to be 7 hit points on the purple dial. Okay, I am the Mind Thief. I am still level 1, so nothing has changed about the abilities that I get to use. And I think we're just going to go straight into the first round. No, we're not. I have items now. I'm going to look again. Looking at these items, I think I talked about them at the end of the last video, that the items that I have access to, they're printed at the tops and bottoms of these scenario cards. So definitely the Rose Thorn Knife is going to be the hand item I bring in. It says during my attack I can use Frost or Earth Element to add Piercing 1. So that'll help against the Bandit Guard, and I know that I generate Frost with one of my cards. And then I can choose between any of essentially these 4 trinket items. I can only bring one. So the Old Spring adds Jump to a move when I exhaust it. The Shrunken Weather Boots add +1 movement. The Bottle Cap Helm treats a plus attack modifier as a neutral. And the Sparrow Skull Helm gives me advantage on an attack. I kind of... I think I like Last time I didn't take much damage at all, but I kind of think with these bandit archers, I'm going to take more damage. So I think I'm going to try this bottle cap helm that is a little bit defensive. It can even prevent a crit, right? The crit is a plus roll, so if you treat it as a neutral, they just roll a 0. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay. Where to begin? I am 1 space away from the guard, but the guard is only going to move maximum 2. So if I charge over, I can start wailing on this archer, and the guard would take a turn or 2 to get to me. And the other archer should be too far away to probably attack me. So I think that's going to be the plan. I'm going to circle around to the blue archer. So I'm going to want this scurry, that's move 3 and attack for 2. That seems perfect for that situation. Oh hey, these hazards I'm noticing, they are 1 damage and immobilize, which is pretty interesting because I can definitely get characters into those. Like, I could really pin the guard down while I clean up the archers. I'm going to do this. Parasitic Influence. Control an enemy within range 3 to attack for 2. Yeah. Or not to attack, to move for 2. So I can move it into that trap, which will immobilize it. That feels great. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to plan to act fast so that it's before the guard gets to go. So I'll choose the 20 initiative. The archers could still move faster. They can go as fast as 16. So I'm going to roll for... Oops, I'm going to need a white cube for this additional enemy. I'm going to roll for the guard. The guard's at neutral. And roll for the archer. Ooh, archer's at minus. If you watched the last video, you know that I cannot roll a plus on this die. I'm starting to wonder if the die is actually even. But in the tutorial, I was rolling pluses. So I think it's just weird, shitty luck. Okay. So, the archers do go first. That's a little unfortunate. But what they're going to do is just move 1 space and then attack at 2 range. This... Actually, maybe this works out because the blue archer is number 2. It'll go first. The only way it can attack me is by moving into the trap. And I think it does. I read the rules for this. Please let me know in the comments if you know better than I do and I'm wrong. But if the only way that they can attack you on their turn is to step into a trap, into a hazard, I think they do. And that's the case here. They could get into... I need like a pencil or something to like point to what I'm talking about. But there's only 2 spaces that could get them into 2 range for the attack, and it's the hazard or that rock, and they certainly can't move on to the rock. So I think they move on to the hazard. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my understanding. So this blue archer is going to move 1 step up into the hazard, taking 1 damage, doing my job for me, and becoming immobilized. Immobilized means they can't move until the end of their next turn. And then and then it'll attack me though for 2, and it's going to roll its modifier. Now we roll a plus. Okay, so the plus is a +1. It's going to hit me for 3. That's pretty painful. I could use the bottle cap helm, but I think I'm going to get greedy and save it and try to knock off a +2 or a crit when it's further down the table. So I'm going to take this 3 damage. Oops. You have to flip this dial over. It's all very complicated, I assure you. I'm not just stupid. Okay. Now it is the purple archer's turn. It is just going to move 1 space to try to get closer to being able to attack me someday. I can live with that. And now it's my turn at initiative 20. So I'm going to scurry. I think I will get kind of away from the guard and everything. Oh, wait. I want to be able... Oh, yeah. I had a whole plan here. Oops, I'm here. Okay. I am going to do the bottom half of Parasitic Influence first. Control 1 enemy within range 3, move 2. I'm going to control this guard, move it into that hazard. That hazard being, looks like some nails. Painful. Sorry, buddy. That's going to do 1 damage to it. And immobilize it. And Parasitic Influence flips over and returns to my hand. Meaning Frost is active right now, so I could add Piercing to my attack. Which means I could reconsider going for the guard since I can pierce its shield. But I still think I just want the archers off. I can like kite the guard around. Especially with it immobilized this turn. So I'm going to move 1, 2 spaces. To, yeah, not get any closer to the purple archer than I need to. And do this, sorry, I should have moved the monster modifier down for the archer's attack. I am going to attack for the 2 on Scurry. Let's roll that plus. It's a neutral. 2 damage to the archer. I will take it. Oh, that's right. If you watched, I don't know if you're hearing this on the microphone. If you watched the last video, you also know that there are helicopters circling my house. This is not a fancy studio. Believe it or not, it's my house. So, sorry for the air traffic noise if you're hearing that. Good whiskey. Okay. I'm going to move down this modifier track myself since I've used that. We got the archer down to 4. That seems fine. That's the end of my turn. Scurry will also flip. And the guard's turn is up at 50 initiative. The guard cannot move because it is immobilized. So then it can't attack because it just melee attacks and it's way over here. So all it's going to do is its disarm will go away and that's its turn. Top of a new round. Because we flipped these cards, we have a new set of options, which is pretty cool. But I kind of just want to pummel this archer as hard as I can, I think. I wonder... there's probably... Probably no way that I can kill it. Is there? Well, like a Withering Claw and the Mind's Weakness would poison it and then hit it and wound it to finish it off. Yeah, that should do the trick. But I wonder if I even need to... What if I wounded it and... Well, I don't have movement on the top of any of these cards. Okay, so wounding it and leaving it to die, to bleed out, is probably not enough. But these should do it. So yeah, that'll be the plan. This Gnawing Horde was so good for me last time too, that puts up 2 retaliate. I wonder if I should do this and the Mind's Weakness, then let it die on a retaliate? It gives me a shield too. Last time, scenario 1, I gotta be honest, I really never felt like the puzzle got very interesting. Here, now, it's interesting. And it only took till scenario 2. That's not that bad. I also could control an enemy to move 2 and attack for 3. So it's an option to just have the archer head to the guard and attack the guard. What does that do for me? It muddles the guard, but the guard probably can't hit me, so the muddle's wasted. Okay, I have a plan, sort of. Do I have a plan? I don't think I have a plan. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the safe thing. I'm the squishy character, I want to take as few attacks as possible, so that means killing it with the 2 damage attacks, and then going from there. I think that's the play. Okay. I kind of hate to predictably go like A, B, 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 which is kind of what I'm doing here, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. So I'm going to play these 2 cards. I want to go fast before the archer attacks me if possible. So I'm going to take the 18 initiative and then roll for the bandit guards. neutral, so they'll stay at 50. And the bandit archers, neutral, so they go on 31. I do go first. And they'll attack with 3 range. Shouldn't matter much. Okay, I'm going to do the top and bottom of the attacks on both halves of this card. So, Withering Claw is going to attack for 2, and it will poison and muddle. Attacking. Hey, I rolled a plus. Wow. Okay. That just makes the attack 4. That finishes off the archer. The blue archer is removed, is dead. So the poison and the muddle don't matter. And now the Mind's Weakness. Let me return this to my hand, flip it. Okay. Now the Mind's Weakness, the attack is not useful, so I actually probably should just basic move with it. And I guess I'll head for the guard next. The guard has a little bit of damage on it. If I move 1 space towards it, it can't reach me, and then I can fuck it up next turn. Okay, that'll be the play. Alright, at 31 initiative, the remaining archer, the purple archer, acts, moving 1 and then attacking at 3 range. All it can do is get there, and that's not quite 3 range. The bandit just tries to move 1 and attack for 2 damage at melee range. It just moves and can't attack. I've got to move my own modifier down from that. Okay, so far I'm doing kind of what I did so successfully last time. I've just taken 1 hit along the way this time and kited them around a bunch. Kept them from catching me, but the range is going to make it tough. Okay, fresh, new turn. The possession looks pretty good. Control an enemy within range 4, have it move 2 and attack and muddle. So that could send the guard up towards the other archer, which seems pretty effective. Or vice versa, to be honest. So I think I like that choice. And then what will I want to play for a bottom half? Potentially just Into the Night. Into the Night lets me go invisible, which means I can't be targeted and I remove at the end of next turn. And also, this goes insanely fast at 7. I think I like that. The one issue is that the remaining cards don't have a lot going for them. It would be an attack and a move. But yeah, let's do it, I guess. Okay. So, oh, this is also interesting. The exact flip of this does disarm an enemy within 2 hexes. I think you have to be able to land that attack to do that ability, right? Okay. So, yes, that's the plan. All right, I'm going on 7 initiative, so I'll be going before them, but let's see what they do. For the bandit guard, it's the minus. And for the bandit archer, it's the plus. Hey, they can be rolled. Okay. Well, so that won't move, which means I'm safe from it. Yeah, this is all looking pretty good, so let's do that plan. Possession, control an enemy within range 4 to move 2 and attack for 3. So I'm going to make the guard move 2 towards the archer and attack it for 3, and that will also muddle the archer, which shouldn't matter because it can't hit me, but that still feels nice. Okay, so I'm going to roll for their attack modifier. It's a minus 1, of course, so that's going to land 2 damage on the archer, putting it at 5. And then Into the Night is just going to make me invisible. Cannot be targeted or removed at the end of next turn. So, in Gloomhaven proper, if someone goes invisible, other characters become the targets. In this case, since these enemies have no targets, I guess they just don't move? The bandit archer isn't going to move anyway. The bandit guard? Does it sit perfectly still? I guess it must, right? It can't see me. How could it possibly attack me? Yeah, so I can be invisible for 2 turns here. This goes away at the end of my next turn. Meaning if I go slow initiative next time, this just happens again? This is great. Alright. These cards are both discarded. Their turns accomplish nothing that I can see. And so I'm at the top of a new round with these 2 cards left. Empathetic Assault and Gnawing Horde. I can move forward and attack for 3 is pretty much all that these accomplish, and I think that's probably fine. I don't think I want to do the retaliate thing. The archers are attacking for too much. So I'm going to go at 83 initiative. I want to go slow this time. And then I'm going to roll for the guard. It's minus this time. Oh, minus was where it was at. And the archer, whoop, rolled across the table, but that was a plus. So they'll both repeat last time. But the problem is I'm still invisible for their turns. Guard goes first. It does shield itself, for 1. The archer goes next, has no target to attack at range 3, and then I go. So since the guard has 2 shield right now, I think I definitely just want to go for the archer with this empathetic assault. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. I am up in the fray. I hope that is not a bad idea. And attack for 3. The archer's no longer muddled. Yeah, there's no way that I can, no roll here that finishes them off, but that's okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting to move that down after I attacked for them. Okay, so I'm here potentially missing. Let's not do that. I did that. Yep, nothing I can do about that. No damage. Brutal. Okay. Okay, I think that this calls for a short rest, right? I want to try to either kill the archer before it gets a turn or go invisible again, something like that. So I am going to take a short rest, which works just like in Big Gloomhaven. I am going to randomly choose a card like Scurry. Okay, this is the one that does pretty basic moves and attacks, and this is the one that turns on the large retaliate. So that's off the table now. Also, annoyingly, because that invisibility trick was so good, the 83 is also gone. I don't think I have another card slow enough to guarantee I go last. Nope, I take it back. The Mind's Weakness. But anyway, the invisibility is on the back of the Mind's Weakness. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to do that 2-turn invisibility trick again this time. Okay, so I think the game plan is to go fast and get 2 attacks in with Withering Claw and the Mind's Weakness again. I also could... No, I can control an enemy and make it move 2 that doesn't get either of them into hazards. Unless I were to move away and kind of bait them in, but... No, that's fine. I am going to choose the Mind's Weakness and Withering Claw. And did one of these have the frost on the back? No. Which card has frost? Possession has frost. Okay, that's maybe going to matter. I could use that with my Rose Thorn Knife to add Pierce when it's time to take down the guard. But for now, I'm going to focus on the archer. Okay. I'm going to roll for the Bandit Guard's initiative. I always forget to move that track after rolling. Okay. Bandit Guard is going on plus 70 initiative. And I said, right? Did I declare this out loud? I'm going to use the 18 from Withering Claw. And the archer is going to go also on plus. Okay, so they're going slowly. Withering Claw does 2 damage, poison, and muddle, and then the Mind's Weakness does 2 damage and wound. This, unless I roll really terribly, this should take out the archer. The Bandit Guard will be able to attack me for 2, but I can probably live with that. So let's start with the Withering Claw attack. That's going to be 2 damage attacking the archer, muddling and poisoning it. And I'm going to roll neutral. Okay, so that's a 0 modifier. 2 damage, and it is poisoned and muddled. And then with the poison, and the potential to crit. Hopefully the Mind's Weakness here wraps this up. Another 2 damage attack against the archer. Neutral is another 0, so 2, plus the poison makes 3. The archer is defeated. Alright, I'm just going to get that card off the table because all that's left is the guard. And it has 1 damage on it. That's pretty nice. I kind of wish now that some of these status effects were on it, but what are you going to do? These cards flip and go back to my hand, and it will take a turn. It'll try to move 2, or it'll move 2 and attack 2. It doesn't need to move 2. So the attack is going to be a plus. You know, I think I just used my bottle cap helm here. I know that a little while later it has the opportunity to crit if the game goes on long enough, but I don't know if I'll ever roll a plus again. So at this point, I'm going to exhaust the bottle cap helm to make that a neutral modifier of 0, so it'll get 2 damage through to me. And I'm at 5. Okay, my turn. So I could go invisible again, but with 1 guard, I think I would rather just go on the offensive. So, what's the best way to do that? Parasitic Influence is actually not bad in this situation. I could leave it active, and then after each of your attack abilities perform... Oh, it is bad in this situation because I would not have enough cards left if I leave that active. I would have to rest. That's a tricky thing about these active cards and having so few cards. Having 25% of your hand, or now that I've lost one, and this card that I lost should be in my lost pile. Now that I've lost one, 33% of my hand in the active section doesn't seem reasonable. Possession later can disarm, and that buffs into the night. So I think I'm just going to do something like Empathetic Assault and Parasitic Influence. And it's even possible to, if the bandit guards are only getting their 1 space of movement and I go first, I could push it 2 away so it won't get to attack me. So that's pretty interesting. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep Into the Night, play Empathetic Assault and Parasitic Influence, and probably I would want to attack and then push it away. This is annoying because I also, if I flip this... Yeah, you know... Well, okay. I'm gonna roll for initiative and then we'll resolve this turn. So, the... Oops, and I should have moved this, right? After they rolled that +1. Bandit Guard is going to go to neutral. It's acting on 50. I don't know if I declared what card goes, but both of them go before that, so I'm off the hook for breaking that rule. Okay, because if I resolve Parasitic Influence first, it would flip, giving me Frost. And Frost I can use to add Pierce or Disarm to the Empathetic Assault. And that feels good. Probably more valuable than pushing... Well, but if I push them away, they also can't attack me. That's probably more valuable. No, we're just going to go mano a mano. I don't want to push them away. Disarming I'm open to. So, I'm going to take a basic move on Parasitic Influence. I don't want to move it. I'm also just going to stay where I am. And that's going to flip the card over and return it to my hand, which now means this Frost is active. So I could either use that to disarm the bandit or to add Pierce. But I also could... Let's see, if I crit... No, I can't quite kill the bandit outright, but... Okay, I'm going to roll to see what my modifier is here. It's a plus. I do crit. Oh, hell yeah. So this becomes 6. 6 goes down to 5, but I can use the Frost to make it Pierce. I can also use the Frost to disarm. And I think I'm going to disarm. So let's throw a disarm token on him and deal 5 damage after his shield. 2 health left. This feels fine. This feels good. that card is discarded. And now for, well, let me resolve their turn before I talk about my next turn. At 50, they act, move 1. There's no need to move. And then can't attack because they're disarmed. And we'll just remove the disarm. Okay. We have 2 cards left. Into the Night and Possession. Possession can attack for 1 and then disarm an enemy in 2 hexes. And then Into the Night can attack for 3 plus 2 for each negative condition the target has. Seems like a dream combo. They also both go before the guard's turn. So I think that's no need to rest or anything and get any cards back. I think that that's the play. I will roll for their initiative. I need to move my modifier here. Neutral. Okay, so they're going on 50. All right. We also have Frost visible for this possession attack, and then the card will go away, so Frost will be gone. So I'll definitely use the Rose Thorn Knife. So, attacking for 1 with possession. I rolled a minus. That's a -2. I don't really see anything I can do about that. I will still disarm the bandit. But that one, yeah, no damage lands there, even though I could pierce. Okay, and that card is discarded, so I can't pierce on this attack, but it's big. Now that he has a negative condition, Into the Night attacks for 5. It's a minus, but 5 minus 1 is 4. The shield reduces it to 3. They only had 2. They're dead. Bam. This is fun. This is a cool little puzzle. It's, I'm glad that you level up and upgrade the abilities and stuff, because I worry that it's going to be a little, I don't know. You know, there's actually a lot of enemies in this game. There's like 20 or something. Like it's like 10 double-sided monster cards. So, you know, maybe it won't get boring because the scenarios will be more interesting. But I've got to say, like, I wouldn't want to play 15 to 20 scenarios with these same 4 cards. And the upgrades are just kind of like bumps in the numbers on them. They're mostly not. They're not new abilities. They're upgrades to these abilities. I've looked at them. They're nothing dramatically exciting. So yeah, I do wonder if there's the replay value in one mercenary to play 15-ish scenarios. But the scenarios themselves having different twists and different monsters each time, that should add that replay value, I hope. Speaking of the scenarios, let's see how this one ends. So the bandit's defeated. The goal is complete, to defeat all enemies. Standing on the other side of the street, before the towering, grumbling Garalev, the collector clears their throat. Honestly, it's probably best to avoid Button entirely. Very eccentric. I recommend sneaking in through a crack in the wall. And then it tells me here, if I was playing the Bruiser, I would play scenario 4, barging in, and then other classes play scenario 3, in the walls. So I had glanced ahead enough to see that, and I'm speculating, that each mercenary has kind of one special scenario that only they play. And that's why I say it's about a 15 scenario campaign, because there's 20, and then if you're skipping 5 scenarios for the 5 mercenaries you're not playing, that'd be 15. So that's why I keep assuming that. Let's check out the items I get. Drop of Power Potion. You lose this card rather than exhaust it. Honestly, I don't know how many games I'm going to be long resting ever in, because the short rest there worked just fine. So losing and exhausting is maybe not that impactful difference on the items in this game, is what I'm saying. Drop of Power Potion. During your turn, add +1 to all of your attacks. Oh, I definitely have some turns where I do multiple attacks. Seems strong. Or Drop of Clean Water. During your turn, consume Frost or Wind? Air? I gotta be honest, I don't know the names of all the Gloomhaven elements that well. I don't know if it's frost or ice. I don't know if it's air or wind. Anyway, one of those two to remove a negative condition. That does not consume the item, it just has to consume the element each time you do it. Okay, that's all. You can definitely glance at the monsters and decide which of those is interesting. So those seem cool. And those just get added to the collection. I now have already 8 items that I pack essentially 2 of, since most of them are trinkets and I can only bring 1 of the trinkets. Eventually I should get a second hand slot item and be bringing 3 items in. But that'll be for next time. Thank you for watching. Let me know again if you're enjoying these videos and would like me to make more, because that will play into whether I'm playing this on or off camera, as I definitely am planning to continue it. And hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it, we appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, we play through all sorts of games. It's actually pretty rare that I'm here playing solo. Most of the time it's me and friends playing everything from, I was going to say Gloomhaven. We actually haven't played Gloomhaven on the channel, but Oathsworn to Earthborn Rangers to Dune Imperium, all games we've been playing a lot of lately. So yeah, definitely check us out. Join us for those. We have a lot of fun here. And I'll see you soon. Till then, be optimal.